It's been 4 years since Michael Myers vanished without a trace.
Hello?
Evil does not sleep. It waits.
There's far more at stake here than just our lives.
Fight with me.
For all Middle Earth.
Why ain't you answering your mobile phone?
I'll be right back. Life would be so much easier if I was just Jen.
I think you're in a unique position to do some real good. Jen Walters can use the law to help people when society fails them. She-Hulk can help people when the law fails them.
This guy's really kind of doing it for me. Big energy.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to another Organized Chaos podcast. My name is Bobby Quarters, and with me as always is Bob. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
Kids are recovering from COVID, so that was a fun adventure. I had the recent COVID shot, so I didn't end up not catching it, so yay. My parents had the same thing, so they didn't catch it either, so yay. But yeah, no, it's still a fun adventure. A little stress with the kids catching it, but God.
They catch it from someone at school?
I would assume so, but it was crazy, their recovery time. So, we picked up the kids on Tuesday, and Ashlyn was mostly recovered, but she had a little cough. Evan was in bed, just watching TV, just like, you could tell he had a fever. He was not doing well. Next day, Ashlyn's, she's about the same, a little cough. Evan is running around, not even a cough. He is fine the next day. It's like, oh my God, youth. It's like,
oh, I wish.
Yeah. It's like, I was stressed they were getting COVID, and then it's just over. It's just the joys of youth. But yes.
Yeah. To be able to bounce back like that at our age.
Oh, yeah. Well, COVID, God, it took me forever to recover from COVID. Shit. I do not wish that on anybody.
I feel I had it early or late in 2019 because there was a period where my wife at her office, there was some bug going around where it was making people really sick, like sicker than the flu is what the word was. And I caught it. She came home, didn't catch it at all. I was down I felt like cruddy for at least 2 weeks, really cruddy. But I never had the high fever.
Well, I never had the high fever of COVID, too. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, though, is that there was a flu going around at the end of 2019, because I remember I got super sick, and it spread out through work like wildfire. A whole bunch, half the meat department went down, and, it was like, oh my God, is this COVID? And then, a year and a half later or so, or actually less, when I actually did catch COVID, it was not. So... I'm not saying it wasn't COVID what you got, but it felt different.
It felt more in my stomach than anything else. I felt it in my lungs, the upper respiratory bit.
Yeah.
I felt that, but it felt like an upper respiratory infection.
Yeah, what I had in 2019 was there was a little bit up here, but it was a lot of stomach flu stuff.
Yeah, it felt more like I just couldn't keep anything down.
But yeah, COVID is not fun. Do not get it if you can avoid it.
Between me and my wife and two of our friends, our wives, they both work together. I think we all felt like we caught it, but their kid didn't.
Yeah. No, kids are fairly resistant to it. And now with all the vaccines coming out, if you're up to date with the vaccines, you're probably more resistant than kids, because kids get less vaccines because they approve much less of them for people in their age range. So actually, kids are are less defended from COVID if you're fully vaccinated. Now, if you're not vaccinated, then kids are way better defended. But yeah, just fun facts. We do have a fun show today. We got the big topics. We got Halloween Ends. And then after Halloween Ends, we'll get to actually some horror themed stuff. We'll talk about Rings of Power and She-Hulk, which is that is the really scary stuff. we'll be talking about.
That is.
No, it's kind of interesting. We're dealing with, although I don't know if this is going to become uncommon, all three of these topics have lots of let's just say fan issues.
Toxicity?
Yes.
Toxicity?
Fan issues.
I mean, I'll say toxicity because that's exactly what I think it is.
Toxicity. It gets obnoxious. If you've been watching my channel, you know I've been dealing with this crap. There are channels that harvest this toxicity and make it worse, frankly. And it drives me up the wall. But yes, all three of these movies are very much subject
Agreed.
to these things, movies, 2 TV series and a movie. But yeah, but we will get to them.
Resorted to trolling Flyers fans.
Yeah. Are we ready to talk about some news?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Oh, and just FYI, if you're listening, I have limited space for the rest of this week on the podcast. So I might do an edited version of this. So if we're missing some news or something, it's going to be on the YouTube video. Go check it out there. That'll be the full thing. We will see. I might just upload the whole thing and take I think it's like $3. We'll see. We'll see what I feel like, how much work I want to put into it. But just FYI, if you're just listening on the podcast, this might be a cut down version. Want the full one? Go to YouTube.
You won't get to listen to us talk about this pathetic slug in a suit.
Yeah. This being Alex Jones. When this verdict was, so I guess I'll go ahead and say what the verdict is. In Connecticut, he was what's the term? Judgment against him was a whopping cumulative $965 million.
Jesus.
Just fuck. Well, here's the interesting thing. So Texas, where his last lawsuit was, where he lost, but it was like $60 million. That state has a cap on this type of thing. Connecticut fucking doesn't. So he just this is one of those things where I'm sure he's scrambling to hide his money. But I actually did just watch the Legal Eagle on this, which I can't believe came out a couple hours before recording this. And he brought up the fact that this is how the lawyers are getting paid. They will track him down for this. They will find his holding companies and figure this shit out. They will get paid. I think the phrase he used
they will get their money.
The phrase he used was the only thing lawyers like more than winning is getting paid.
And if you don't watch that channel on YouTube, Legal, check it out. It's very great and informative and educational.
Yeah, he's awesome. I don't know how you could not enjoy him. But yeah,
I mean, I would hire him if he practiced law in this state.
Yeah. You'd be like, I don't practice that type of law, but you're awesome on YouTube. Do it.
I trust you.
Yeah.
I don't practice law in Ohio. I don't care.
Yeah. Do I care? You practice law on YouTube, and that's great for me.
You can work around it.
But yeah, Alex Jones, sometimes justice is served. This guy's just such a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh yeah, and fun fact, a tweet I recently shared. Did you know that Paul Rudd is 5 years older than Alex Jones?
Yes.
It's kind of great.
It is.
Yeah.
We could bask in that for a second.
Yeah.
And, let that thought marinate. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
that's what stress does.
Well, no, I think it shows what all those fucking supplements Alex Jones Hawks does. If you want to look like this when you're in your late 40s, hey, buy some of the shit, I guess.
Yeah, buy the shit that Alex Jones Hawks.
Yeah. But yeah, fuck. I am so happy about this verdict. But Margery Taylor-Greene came to his defense because, of course, she did. Of course,
the helicopter hog killer.
Yes. Do you have the story open? I don't know exactly what she said, but I know she defended him.
Yes,
I can bring it up here. Quickly too.
Yeah, according to rawstory.com, she said the persecution must end. The helicopter hog killer argues that Alex Jones had a legal right to torment the Sandy Hook parents on Wednesday. Yeah.
That is just fuck him.
Yeah. Apparently, she, Representative Green, she took to Twitter to rage against the decision, suggesting that the trial is a violation of his First Amendment rights. No matter what you think of Alex Jones, all he did was speak words. That's what she had said in a tweet, linking his far-right website into denouncing the decision that he was not the one who pulled the trigger, whereas his words wrong, and did he apologize? Yes. That is what freedom of speech is. Freedom to speak words. His political persecution must end.
Now,
he was paid. He was ordered to pay almost $1 billion to the parents of the murdered Sandy Hook children.
So, a couple things I want to go ahead and correct her on. And I don't know, as somebody who is a YouTuber, I think it's weird to be correcting a sitting congressperson, but I will be doing that. Freedom of speech.
Some of them only got their GEDs months before they got sworn in. So
True. But yes, so freedom of speech does not protect you from civil liability.
No, it does not.
What the fuck are you talking about? He's not going to be facing jail time for this. He's just going to become very, very poor, which he should be. I mean, he's a piece of shit.
It's not like we're going to take him to the streets and tar and feather him and drag him through the town square, though preferably, yes. But, there are laws protecting against that.
Well, I come across this argument often, and I always have to tell people over and over again, listen, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. You can say whatever you want, and the government will not criminally prosecute you for that, with a couple of exceptions, like you can't yell fire in crowd theaters, obvious shit like that.
Or, you can't, say the words to, kill an acting political figure of any sort.
Yeah.
You can't say things like that. Those are no-nos.
Yeah, but for the most part, you can largely say whatever you want and not face government criminal trial. Civil matters are completely different, though, and they can persecute you. If you're saying words that are actively harming a human being, they have a right to come at you civilly. And that's a consequence of your words. I feel like one of the things I've been exploring is just, I love freedom of speech personally. I think it's a great thing. But I really hate how a lot of these fucking liars have their voices elevated by the internet.
Yeah.
And I frankly don't know what to do about it. But I don't know what we're talking algorithms or something. I don't know. But this is a problem. People are actively lying and making the world worse. And social media companies are pushing that. It's not good. And I understand mainstream media lies too, but it's a different beast. One thing I've always noticed is mainstream media is that they're less likely to lie and more likely just to not talk about stuff that they probably should be talking about. When they lie is actually fairly few and far between, I've ever found. But they do actively not talk about things they should be talking about. I mean...
Yeah, I would say, if anything, media are definitely masters of the sleight of hand.
Yes. I would say...
Just as good as the government. Just as good as the government is.
I will say, if you're looking for reliable media sources, AP and Reuters are largely your most reliable ones.
Yeah.
None of them are perfect. None of them can be perfect. But those are your... Like, there's a story on AP or Reuters. It's pretty reliable. You can trust it fairly well. If there was a story on Alex Jones or fucking Newsmax, you might as well just wipe your ass with it, because it's worth less than toilet paper.
Yeah. This is actually something just breaking right now.
Ooh, what you got?
Kevin Spacey's trial is underway currently.
Oh, God.
As you may or may not be aware.
Yeah, I saw something about... What's
something about
Anthony,
his daddy?
What's the name of the guy? Anthony Rappert, I want to say? No, that's not
Anthony Rapp? Yeah,
Rapp.
Anthony
Yeah,
Rapp.
it was just Anthony Rapp. Yeah, the guy, I think he was testifying at that, or at least talking about that, because he was one of the first guys to come out to...
It's something directly about Spacey himself. Spacey said today in court that his dad was a, quote, neo-Nazi white supremacist who verbally abused him for being gay.
Okay.
And this is during the civil trial with Anthony Rapp.
Mm-hmm.
So Rapp, of course, alleging the sexual assault, claiming that during his testimony, or during Spacey's testimony, that his father was an avowed neo-Nazi white supremacist who had verbally threatened him when he suspected his son might be gay. The federal trial. Yeah, it's pretty much just reporting on that hot button issue. Nothing more else growing up, and more of Spacey talking about, how he kind of it seems like Spacey just keeps repeating, that his dad was a white supremacist and a neo-Nazi.
Well,
I grew up in a very complicated family dynamic, describing his father as unemployed and a great deal at the time. So therefore, he was home a lot of the time, and he had to listen to his father lecturing us for hours and hours and hours about his beliefs and ideals. So I think he's just pretty much trying to play the "I had a shitty upbringing."
Which, I mean, I feel sorry for him in that respect, but it doesn't forgive what he did. Honestly, it almost feels like kind of an admission to me. Like, almost like, dude, why are you fighting this? Maybe, I don't even know what he could do at this point, but, try to make amends? I don't know. Reform, for goddamn sure.
Like change your fucking habits.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Like this sounds almost like an admission, though. Like, he's like, "Oh, this is the reason why I did this." So you did it.
It
so
you kind of does, but it almost sounds like a cop out. Like, this is why. Don't blame me. Like he's not being fucking accountable.
Yeah.
That's what I've gathered. But that was a breaking. That's sorry to derail.
Yeah, we don't have the proper picture. But staying in the political landscape, we have the least shocking news item ever. Tulsi Gabbard has left the Democratic Party. And you might be listening to me going, that happened like at least a year and a half to 2 years ago, right? And that's because she's just been popping up on news networks essentially saying the Republican talking points for that time. She has always been a spotty fucking figure. But yeah, she's her leaving is about as shocking as water being wet.
Water's wet?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know, shocking.
Sorry.
Her big claim to fame was that she supported Bernie in 2016 when very few people would. And you know what? I will still give her props for that. But in 2020, she definitely did some seedy stuff with her presidential campaign. It was like, lots of stuff was just like, well, gee whiz, why is she doing that? And I still want to give her benefit of the doubt back then. But since then, I'm so done with her. It's ridiculous. She's a joke. She's a political mover. I think she's just possibly she's angling for one of two things. One thing I think is a guarantee. Another thing's possible. I think she's angling for a primetime spot on Fox News. Get her own show, which I don't know how successful that will be, because she's not particularly electrifying as a speaker. But who knows?
No, not particularly.
I mean, she is a pretty face. Lots of times that's what Fox News is looking for, so hey. And as far as the other thing is, she might be going for Trump's VP spot in 2024.
I thought that was going to go to the helicopter hog killer.
It might go to her, too. This isn't impossible. But who knows? Yeah, and I kind of don't care. I kind of just want her to go away at this point. She's been useless for a while. She's just the worst. I mean, this whole move... let me see. I know there's a segment on here that I saved that I could bring up. But a little bit of her I'm leaving the Democratic Party thing just rubbed me intensely the wrong way. Okay. I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that is now under the complete control of elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness who divide us by racializing every issue and stoke anti-white racism. I'm sorry. If you're leaving the Democratic Party over wokeism and anti-white racism, just get the fuck out. No, just go away. Fuck.
Anti-wokeism? What?
Well, I mean, she's taking the anti-woke line with the wokeism is taking over the Democratic Party. It's like, so what? Wanting equal rights for all people is, you're against that? Okay. Fuck you.
Okay there.
Yeah. But, a bit more political stuff. Gavin McInnes was in the news. Oh, where'd he go? There we go. This piece of shit, founder of the Proud Boys. Apparently he's doing a comedy show at Penn State. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I used to be like a more of a supporter of free speech and like let it out in the marketplace of ideas and let it like get destroyed there.
Yeah, and I'm an advocate for free speech, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it I probably will not agree with. But you know what? That's the beauty of free speech. They have a right to say whatever they want to say. And I have a right to choose whether or not to listen to it, take it for granted, or pay or completely invest my entire life savings into it.
Well, you know, and that's where Penn State, I'm certain, is facing controversy because they have a right to tell them, no, you don't speak here.
I mean, if they have and I mean, I believe it was a student union or a student group that.
Oh, I'm sure there
paid
was.
For him to come there, and I mean, I'm not really surprised. But let's see here. I found so many news stories this week. I got to go.
Yeah,
through
there was a lot going on this week. It is
a quote unquote comedy show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you had already said that or not.
I think I did, but yeah.
I'm kind of fucking worried to exactly what that definition of comedy means. I mean,
the event is titled "Stand Back and Stand By."
Dear God.
Grievances over political correctness, gender roles, and immigration. Sounds like a real fucking gem. Sounds like. No, this guy's a piece of shit. Like I said, we need to figure out what to do with free speech because I firmly believe that free speech needs to be out there. People need to be allowed to speak, to say their piece. But the fact is,
100%.
the wrong ideas are getting pushed way too actively because it gets clicks and it gets views.
Well, and the dangerous thing I've always felt with that is like if there's someone who's putting out, okay, for the sake of argument, let's say that there's this new food product out, okay? Let's just call it, like, just for the sake of argument, it's like arsenic. It's great. You could put it on anything and it's great, but there is some side effects, you might die. But don't worry about that because it's so great. Yeah. And then there's somebody who will go, you know what? Don't believe the myth. That's a myth that it will kill you. Eat all of the ones you want. And there's some jackass just saying this. The danger of putting a thought like that, maybe I used a too extreme of an example, but the problem with putting false information, I feel, is out that there's some people who won't take the time to do their own independent research, their own studies.
Yeah.
Or they'll go to other linked sites or other linked bases of people who will copycat or parrot the same things. Because either no matter how they try and claim they're not pushing a political agenda nowadays, anywhere is pushing a political agenda. And I feel that is a problem with our two-party system, and it has been a continuing problem, and now it's festering into what it currently is.
Yeah.
I wish that, honestly, we could go back to what I understood was the early days of politics. Now, I don't have the clearest memory of that time period. Granted, I was a child. So, I mean, I have vague, and I do mean vague, memories of George H.W. Bush. I just remember him being some old guy who's in charge.
No new taxes.
or something like that. Or, this will not stand. But, yeah, I mean, I have clear memories of Clinton. Even long before No, though, I did not have sexual relations.
That depends what your definition of is.
Is I do remember that.
Yeah, that was a famous one. It's like,
yeah. Well, I didn't inhale. That's also a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, but
you know, Obama has his issues, but I had to give him props for saying I did inhale.
Yeah, that made me go like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
So what? So what's the second half of that? You're just gonna finally end this, like, you know, prohibition on it?
Yeah. No. Well,
that's another issue all
yeah.
within itself.
Well, we didn't really bring up because Biden's doing lots of good things with the weed stuff right now. Well,
yes,
I haven't looked into it, but
yes.
Yeah,
I haven't much good. Either. But I mean, I really hope that. What worries me is what I understand of what he was pushing for is he was going to really more leave it towards the state. Now, the problem with our home state, Bob, is that the person who is currently in power would probably do everything in his power to keep it even, make a whole new federal classification for it, making it worse than cocaine and heroin,
yeah,
which it is currently listed as dangerous as cocaine, heroin, meth.
Yeah, it's listed as like the worst drugs ever, which is some of the dumbest shit ever. So,
yeah, marijuana is as bad as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, according to the law in the state of the federal government, as well as probably a lot of not everywhere else in the country. There's some other places who have, like, you know, quite gotten liberal with their stance on it, such as obviously Colorado, Michigan, and Indiana. No, not Indiana, Illinois.
Illinois. I think it's Illinois, but maybe I'm wrong. Correct us in the comments.
Illinois, correct us in the comments if we're not sure.
But yes,
I mean, I can confirm Michigan and Colorado.
Colorado's a big one. Good on them.
Yeah, and I mean, along with my trip, of course, I partook.
Well, yeah.
Of course I did.
I mean, anybody who is familiar with it knows that pot is a lot safer than alcohol. Not even close.
Yes.
Not even.
And actually, some studies have shown where they've used marijuana as a deterrent for people who have, you know, to help them kick the cravings for alcohol.
That would be good.
I mean, they've done all sorts of studies to help curb the kicking, even within hallucinogenics and psychedelics. Like, they've shown psychedelics with psilocybin, commonly found in mushrooms, are things that can help people quit smoking. Like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing.
No, and I'm not advocating for, like, you know, I'm not saying that every drug should be legal, but I do kind of think they should, but they should also be regulated.
Oh yeah, no, and it does also, I think, require some drugs would be regulated out of existence, aka fentanyl.
Methamphetamine, yes.
Yeah, but like pot, no, pot should be fine.
Pot? No, I mean, and if it's like something like as horrible as heroin and cocaine, that should, well, if there's addicts who are, like, you know, hooked, they should definitely have resources to
get it clean and safe. Yeah.
To get it clean and safe, but also help them safely wean off of it.
Yes,
and
exactly.
in a controlled environment. I'm talking, of course, about shoot up rooms. Like, they should have them with a medical staff. Like, my opinion.
Are we ready for?
Tell me about it in the comments. Yeah, I think it'd be a good time to switch over because, I gotta.
Well, we
lead into it. We'll lead into it. I gotta change the battery.
Okay. Well, Ryan Reynolds has announced that he is doing a John Candy documentary. And I think it's worth noting. This is definitely lighter news. Who else? Oh, Colin Hanks. Colin Hanks and Ryan Reynolds doing a John Candy documentary, and I'm actually very interested to see this because John Candy, if you grew up in the 80s, you know who John Candy is. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's a legend. He is legit a legend. He didn't do like a ton of movies, but like he's done so many classics. Like
I could list a handful right now.
Yeah.
Summer Vacation. Not Summer Vacation. Summer Rental.
We're getting close to a season for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Fuck, that's
Planes,
a good
Trains,
one.
and Automobiles.
So good.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Such a great movie.
He's Uncle Buck.
He's Uncle Buck, yeah. The legend that he's Cool Runnings. He was also... I'm trying to think of the... Spaceballs. I'm trying to think of that really bad one that he was in with Chevy and Dan Aykroyd.
There was one
You
like
know
that,
the
wasn't
one.
there?
Yeah, it's the one that has Digital Underground and like Tupac's first like big major appearance on anything.
That seems really familiar.
Nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble.
That's right.
That's 6 right there. He also appeared.
I
in
almost
the
want
first
to say Nothing But
Vacation
Trouble's
movie.
almost worth watching. It's bad, but it's
bad,
weird.
but
bad.
it is definitely. I think it's something that we could maybe bring back to appreciating good trash.
Maybe.
Because
I don't particularly enjoy that one, but like there is a value to it. Like there is somebody who cared about that movie. I think it might have been Dan Aykroyd.
It was Dan Aykroyd.
But yeah, it's not good. But like, there's a care to that movie, and it's tough to
and
like.
And there's a certain,
as much as I don't enjoy it, it's tough to hate.
It is, but I would say there's a definite appreciation that Dan put into that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what exactly his appreciation was really targeting towards. Whether it was horror, campy comedy with horror elements.
Yeah, I don't know what his idea
was. A lot
was
of
with
cocaine
that movie. It's
use.
weird.
I don't know.
It was weird. It was. But yeah,
John Candy. I mean, and also that, like, who is Harry Crumb?
Yeah, Harry Crumb. He had a bit role in Home Alone. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a very bit role in Home Alone. A bit role in Little Shop of Horrors too. You know, there's
Who was he in Little Shop? I'm brain farting.
He was weird. Wilkinson.
Oh, yeah, that seems familiar.
Yeah.
Well, you know, being weird in Little Shop of Horrors is pretty easy to miss because everybody's a bit weird in that one.
I mean, yeah. Well, you know that I actually rewatched that recently this past week, just for the hell
I saw it probably about last.
And
year.
also, it's October too, and it's kind of a scary movie in a sense.
Kinda.
Kind of, but it's fun. You know, I feel like this has a similar type of canon to it as like A Christmas Story does.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you get more jokes as you watch it and you get older. Like you catch more, because if you watch it when you're a kid, you know, I watched it when I was a kid because I liked Rick Moranis movies and John Candy, so they both were in it, and that movie was also my first introduction to Steve Martin.
Oh, sure.
And also it had Bill Murray in it, and I always forgot it had Bill Murray. You know, Bill Murray is.
So, a teaser was just released today. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but you brought up A Christmas Story, so I thought I'd drop it in there. A teaser for Ralphie's return to a new Christmas Story sequel. I assume that means the actor, Peter Billingsley.
They already did the sequel.
They did a sequel, but this is going to be like the real sequel that ignores that one.
It
looked
terrible.
awful. I've never seen it.
It was fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Well, this is going to be
that did give me an idea though for December.
Yeah. Oh God.
We watched the worst Christmas movie, the worst Christmas sequels ever.
Ooh. That's an interesting idea. We could throw HR some bad Christmas movies.
We could find some really bad ones. I have two stinkers. I have two already in mind. The aforementioned Christmas Story 2 and Christmas Vacation 2, Uncle Eddie's Island.
Oh, I've not seen either of those.
I have not.
Look I've seen bad.
I've seen a trailer. It looks terrible.
That Christmas Vacation 2 wasn't long before Randy Quaid went insane too. So he was probably already insane at that point. But yeah,
mildly batshit.
Yeah,
you know, a solid 4 out of 10. He wasn't an 8 out of 10 yet, but he was a 4 out of 10.
Yeah,
almost half Nelson with it.
It's when you realize, oh wow, those movies might have been documentaries. Just,
I mean, what would you also say your favorite? Yeah, what would you say your favorite Candy movie is, though?
Candy movie?
Or if you can't think of a favorite one, like your favorite John Candy line.
Oh, John Candy movie. Oh, it's Planes, Trains.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite movie. Now, my favorite quote from him in a movie is, "Here's a quarter. Why don't you go downtown, have a rat, and all that clean off your face?"
Shit, what is that? Fuck, I love that line, though. Oh, yeah, it's Uncle Buck. Yeah, it's Uncle... Of course. Buck Russell.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of things that he said in that movie that are really great quotes. Like, you ever heard of ritualistic murder? Or ritualistic homicide?
Yeah. And that goofy laugh he does after, it's like, nice.
You want to be a part of one?
Now, in news that I'm honestly not sure what to think of, Mel Gibson.
Other news. I thought you were more from
this is the last piece. We're about ready to move into movies, but so Mel Gibson will be testifying in the Harvey Weinstein trial. Apparently, he witnessed some of the harassment.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting twist from somebody who I don't really have any respect for anymore. But
like an anti-Semitic. But
yeah, kind of a piece of shit. I mean he's a talented guy. I can't take that away from him, but he's a piece of shit too.
No, I mean, the way that he was able to emote everything as Martin Riggs in those first 2 Lethal Weapon movies with his own inner turmoil and pain was just, holy shit, that was great. Even that first movie, like, he was so good in that.
Oh yeah, God, the first Lethal Weapon's amazing. That is such a good
just even that whole scene where he's like, contemplating suicide. Like, Jesus Christ. Ugh. So good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know a whole lot. Like, I assume he's testifying against Weinstein, which would be nice.
Yeah. I certainly doesn't seem like he's coming to his aid.
No, it doesn't seem like it at all. It seems like he witnessed some stuff. And he's...
at least what I got. Yeah, that's what I got from the article when I read it. Yeah.
Unexpected props to Mel Gibson.
And full intention. Like no bullshit. Like, fuck yeah, Mel.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, somebody I traditionally dislike doing something good. So hey, good on him.
You need to stop being so fucking anti-Semitic.
Yeah, stop being
so
such a
fucking
piece of
anti-Semitic,
shit.
Will.
Yeah. Stop doing your fucking passion shit. Jesus Christ.
like we get it. You're a Christian.
Yeah.
Cool. How about you make some scaling videos about movies about Scientology next? I will fucking be there. Opening day. Now, I promise.
Yeah.
I promise. I will be there in the Crow T robot seat front row.
Yeah.
My neck will hurt. It'll be great.
But yeah, are we actually ready to get into the movies now?
Yes, we do have a show to do.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Well, we had lots of news.
We did. Holy crap. A lot happened.
Yeah.
And after a few weeks of a slow news week.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that Mel Gibson was a late entry too.
Yeah. It was just like, damn, Mel Gibson actually. Okay, good on him. Good on him.
Unrelated, and to kind of toot my own horn just a little bit. This past Thursday was my birthday, and on
Happy
Thursday, thank you. The committee, the January 6th committee, actually voted unanimously.
Shit, we didn't even talk about that.
Former President Donald Trump on the 13th of October. That being my birthday. So that was a little happy birthday to me.
I am kind of excited to see how that plays out, because if he lies under oath, he's instantly under arrest.
He's federally fucked if he wasn't already.
Yeah, and it's like, God, he can't stop lying. It's like a perfect trap, honestly.
I didn't mean to derail. I literally just remembered that.
That is something we'll definitely have to talk about. But yeah, I'm very interested in that. But yes, Halloween Ends is a movie.
Oh, well, Jamie Lee Curtis said before this was released, there is a good chance that...
You're getting really quiet.
Sorry.
Oh.
Jamie Lee Curtis did say right before this was released that there is a good chance that 85% of the fans will hate this. And
upon watching, I understand.
And upon watching it, yeah, I totally get. Okay, flat out, you like it?
Me? Not really. I actually do like how it ends.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and summarize it as quickly as possible. I thought this was a solid ending to Michael Myers, but they realized that wasn't enough for a movie. So what they decided to do was add Friday the 13th Part 5 to it and pad it out. And
okay.
I think there's interesting ideas in what they do. It's not. I would actually say it's not as bad as Friday the 13th Part 5, but it's a lot of ideas borrowed from there. Where are you at with it? Well,
okay. I fucking loved it.
Really? Okay.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It absolutely made me appreciate 3 more. Mostly just because 3 took a chance and didn't have the norm of, Michael Myers killing babies, which would be the same as Jason, killing summer camp counselors or kids. Freddy killing the kids of Elm Street, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it took a chance, kind of, but as opposed to, like, not even keeping a slasher in there like 3 did, it kind of held a narrative, but it kept the same narrative, but it was expanding on the same one from 2018. Now, I thought 2018, the main narrative in that, and it's been overly documented, that was solely about how trauma can affect a family. How it affects, the Strode family. The sequel, Halloween It Kills, was definitely how that same trauma can affect a community, so on a bigger scale. And I felt that this absolutely told the perfect narrative of how, trauma can settle after the events, the after effects. So this is like how everyone is dealing with it. Are there people who are still mad, angry, scared? Are there people who have moved on and completely forgotten about it? Or are there people who just don't care and never did?
Yeah.
And I felt it depicted a lot of that very well and clear. And I think for a lot of the people who were still holding anger and that, hope that Michael, or that fear that Michael is still out there, and, that worry and concern, they definitely found somebody to villainize with the opening scene. Now, I'm kind of happy that I saw this at home and not at a theater, because I'm going to hell for this. But I laughed during that opening sequence. I laughed so hard at that.
That kid was a fucking jerk.
It was so unexpected, but totally that little shit had
that kid was such a jerk.
He didn't deserve to die.
And then he died. It was like, Jesus Christ. And he set up the perfect situation to have that babysitter fucking kill him. It was just like, you little twerp, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's
he
not
set him up perfectly to be terrified and scared.
Yeah.
Like, make him think that Michael Myers was coming. And
he's freaked out. There's a knife laying on the floor where it shouldn't be. He's like, oh my God, Michael's in here. The kid locks the door. And it's not like he kicks it once and the door goes free immediately and he kicks the kid over the stairwell. By the way, kid goes over the stairwell and dies. The parents see it and they're mortified.
And he falls at least a solid 3 to 4
stories, enough to splatter his skull. It's
those big South Carolina houses, because that's where Danny McBride always films, in South Carolina. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, actually, but that's interesting.
Yeah. Any project that he and his crew are on, like his projects, they always film in South Carolina. Always film, because that's where he's from. Fun, interesting note.
Yeah, no, that's where, I feel like, at least for me, the ideas don't land as well, but yeah, I definitely got the sense that they were going for, the Michael infested the community type deal. It doesn't quite work for me. I like it, but it doesn't quite work for me. Number one, I don't, we get a little bit of the community, but I don't feel like it's that much. And I would have liked more of that, especially following Halloween Kills, because Halloween Kills has that great evil begats evil idea. Community is infected with Michael's evil now.
Well, and I just feel that the main underlining message in it is that, evil it definitely begets evil, but also evil never dies. It exists still. Now, all right, is it a flawless movie? Absolutely. It has its flaws.
No, it's flawless.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna take shit from no teenagers.
Yeah. Well, so I think, for what it's worth, the movie begins and we have this character of Corey who, he's babysitting this jerk of a kid. He accidentally kills a kid.
Shit.
Absolute accident. Little shit kind of set up so he would die because he probably wasn't thinking, just being a fucking jerk. And Corey accidentally kills him. and he is ostracized by the town and just kind of this misfit in the town because of this. I actually think that's a really interesting idea. And for the movie's credit, I was kind of on board with that. Sure, we are not dealing with Michael a lot with the beginning, which I know that's probably going to piss off a lot of people. But I was actually on board with that aspect.
Yeah, Michael only has about 3 kills in this movie.
Yeah, but what I'm less on board with is essentially the idea that Corey goes insane and becomes a new semi-Michael for a bit.
Well, I think that in the scene where, Corey's kind of terrorized throughout the town. He's pretty much called a baby killer and shit like that. And even Laurie, in, I think, her most G moment this entire movie, is she stops some teenagers. Some marching band varsity people. I just want to. If you're in high school and you're listening to this, we play, and you're in the band. I'm not saying it to be mean to you or anything. It's absolutely cool, and I'm all for music education. Don't be a rotten shit.
Yeah, these kids are a piece of shit. And Laurie has that great moment where she kind of chased them off, and she's like, she whips out her knife and it's like, she'll do it or shall I? And it's her that ends up.
Are you gonna do it or should I?
Right?
Yeah, she was slashing their tires.
Yeah, it's just like nice.
And it's like, good to see you haven't completely settled down, Laurie.
No, Laurie definitely has her edge still.
She actually has completely, well, I wouldn't say moved on, but she has come to the best piece that she can where in this timeline. She's moved in with her granddaughter. They both live together. She's starting to write a memoir about her experience in her life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd read the book.
I actually think Laurie's stuff here is really good. I like the idea of her moving on and evolving from Michael. Because that's the thing.
It seems that... Sorry, go ahead.
You just see her throughout this movie. She's kind of getting normalized. She's just kind of doing her life and doing her thing. And she still has an edge from Michael, which is great. But she's just being a person. She's just like, I'm not going to let Michael control me. I'm just going to live my life. We see a flirtation with that one deputy who was retroactively added to the first movie, even though he wasn't actually there. But
Well, I mean, hey, he could have been a police officer.
No, he absolutely could have been. Just one that his scenes never made it to the movie. But
yeah, like they were in the TV version.
Yeah, they were in 2018. We're fine.
and 2021 too.
Yeah, yes. And she has a little romance with him, which I think is nice. I'm less thrilled with what they do with the granddaughter because I was kind of hoping for more with her. And instead she ends up with a relationship with Corey. And that's about
because they both kind of both feel like misfits because now she said that she also kind of gets the misfit like feelings and vibes.
Which I get
from like the community, which I get it. I've never been we were never shown it.
We get little bits here and there about how the community, blames them a bit for Michael, but not a lot. We don't get a lot. We get little bits.
We get one direct one with Laurie, and that one was.
I mean, I think it might have been interesting.
I understand that family's anger, but that's not it. That wasn't her fault.
Allison's name's the granddaughter. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Allison is the granddaughter.
Yeah, so she's up for a promotion where she's working. She's a nurse for a doctor. And this other nurse ends up getting the promotion because she's sleeping with the doctor. But it might have actually been more interesting to set up the situation where the doctor says, hey, listen, you're great. You definitely deserve this. But with your past ties with Michael, I can't give it to you. Little stuff like that to help add to it. To reinforce it more than just, she's fucking the doctor. Ugh. They were kind of pieces of shit. We got the sense of that anyway. But
No,
I mean, you could even do both and just have him using Michael as an excuse, and that would still kind of work.
Oh, I mean, even in that moment, like, when she was first talking to her, I was like, Allison, that girl is not your friend. Do not talk to her.
Yeah, no, when throughout those scenes, I was like, she's fucking him, isn't she?
Yeah. She's screwing him.
Yeah.
It's just
and then when it's revealed, it's like, yep. But like I said, like, I could see this working. It just didn't quite sync up for me. My daughter also pointed out something I didn't really think about, but there's lots of Heather vibes with this movie too. With this one woman ending up with the misfit in town, only to have that misfit essentially go psycho. It's not disconnected. She's not entirely wrong. She's
not.
Yeah.
She's actually dead accurate.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things where it's like, when I first started, I was like, really? And then I thought about, like, shit, there is a lot of similarities to those stories. Yeah, it just, a lot of this didn't quite work for me. The first half of the Corey stuff largely did work. It's when they really started turning him into Michael. And it would have been more interesting.
Okay.
It's, maybe if the community turned him more into Michael, I would have been more engaged. But of course, this movie has to involve Michael. So it's not really the community that turns him into Michael. The community helps. But it's really Michael that turns him into Michael. Because for the past 4 years, Michael's been living in a sewer, apparently.
Pretty much on sleep mode.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it just doesn't quite work for me. I feel like the whole idea of Corey is a nice idea, but they just end up using it to be like, oh, he's Michael 2.0, but he's going to get wiped out by Michael soon enough. Well, Laurie actually, Laurie doesn't even wipe him out. He wipes out himself. Because, he's... Yeah.
Laurie fucks him up a bit.
Yeah, Laurie does fuck him up quite a bit, but he has it coming. I mean, he goes after her.
She shoots him, and he falls off the banister, just like that kid.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Michael who crushes his head.
Yeah, he does go after Laurie, and it does ring the expression, don't go after the king and miss. Don't go after Laurie and miss.
Well, yeah, he was hiding in her house, and we're to believe that she's going to kill herself.
Yes.
And it's leading to believe that. And, he hears a gunshot, he goes to sneak in, she's just there ready, like, did you really think I was going to do that?
Yeah, yeah. And
it was almost as if she was talking to the audience.
That scene to make the audience think, Jesus Christ, what? Huh?
Yeah, the way they cut that, I was like...
no way, they can't do that, right?
Me watching it, I almost pulled my phone out and was about at Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, for a second, I fucking thought you were.
Yeah, no, they shot it, so it really seemed like she would.
Yeah.
And then when she didn't, it's like, oh, of course she didn't. Fuck.
Oh, okay, and then you see her, I see.
No, essentially for me, I like the beginning, and then there's this middle part, essentially, where Corey just becomes Michael, where I'm kind of not really into it, and it's kind of predictable and blah. And then when we get to essentially that Laurie suicide to the end of the movie, I'm kind of back in.
Yeah. Now, if you think about it, they've touched with this idea a little bit in 2018.
Yeah.
And it could just be them revisiting it, where it'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
His doctor, wanted to know what evil was and how it felt.
Yes.
So he was so about putting his mask on and that, like he was like the 180 Loomis, Santane.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were going to do a thing where he's the new Michael, and of course they didn't. But yeah.
Yeah. But they kind of touched with that. But I mean, I don't know if they were trying to like push the narrative of, communities or like that will drive killers to be like that, or if we are inherently evil, it's just our choice not to.
Yeah,
I think it's just more thinking like evil never dies. You can't kill the boogeyman.
Yeah, no,
which is the overall plot of Halloween.
I'm sure there's lots of people who are just going to shit on this because there is very little Michael. I have my issues with the story, as I've already pointed out.
Yeah,
but this is not a shit show by any means.
No, it is not a shit show by any means. It is very good.
I will go ahead and put down my hot take. I preferred Halloween Kills to this, which I know that's going to be a hot take.
But this is still better than Resurrection.
I've had bowel movements better than Resurrection. Although, Resurrection's another one I can't hate on too much because there's so many scenes that just make me laugh, and it shouldn't.
Yeah,
it's so bad. It's so.
Well, I mean, this, like we were saying, like fandoms and like you know, are crazy. The fandom community on this is just completely torn. Right? I don't want to say right down the middle. I would say that the minority is people who like it, and the majority is people who hated it. But I mean, I don't know what they want. There's people who were claiming that the Rob Zombie movies are better than this.
It's fucking stupid. And
there's people who are saying that Resurrection is better than this.
There are I could see mild value to maybe the first Rob Zombie movie, even that one. But the second one,
it was essentially, yeah. I don't know. I feel that it talked about interesting ideas in the second Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah, but
that's a stretch.
The first act of the second movie doesn't even begin until a half hour into it.
No, the actual remake doesn't really start until like a little while, until we hear Love Hurts, and then it's pretty much a remake after that.
Yeah. that second Rob Zombie movie's a bit rough. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is Bobby loves it. I'm not as on board, but I can make your own opinion. Yeah, I guess essentially for me, Act 2, I'm not on board with Act 2. Act 1 and Act 3.
Okay.
Act 1 has good ideas. Act 3. Do we want to go ahead and get into the spoiler ending? Do we want to spoil the shit out of it? Spoiling the shit out of it. What I liked about this ending was it was literally the opposite ending of what I thought they would do. I was scared to death they would kill off Laurie and just leave Michael in some ambiguous death.
Well, yeah, as I said last week, I was convinced that they both were going to die.
Yeah, no, and I thought the most likely scenario was that they both die. They kill each other.
Yeah, the final battle.
And I was like, the ending I want, which is the one that will never happen, was that Laurie survives, she kills Michael, and she moves on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the fucking ending they gave us. And I'm like...
Threw him in a fucking car shredder.
Like, yeah.
I mean, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
a little unceremonial.
Shredder is like, oh shit, yeah, that's
I mean, a little unceremonial, but fucking great.
Yeah, it was kind of satisfying to see Michael go on there. And it's like, I like
that they did that. It was satisfying to see. Even the whole procession of like the police and Laurie and her granddaughter dragging his dead body out onto the car and driving him, the whole town in a whole procession.
Yeah. That was kind of sweet. And I dug that. And like I said, I like the ending to this. This is the ending I thought for sure they wouldn't give us, and they gave it to us. And I was like, nice. You gave Laurie a happy ending. Fuck.
Yeah. And I will agree with something that you had said earlier, how this really didn't exhibit, how the community was still affected by Michael on that night. Mm-hmm. I mean, they kind of did. They showed murder rates were up, showed those two people dead in the car, that person who killed themselves. Mm-hmm. But I wish they would have dove in a bit more to that. Yeah. As opposed to it just being there represented as, okay, I see, the town is affected.
Especially on Allison's
I guess
side.
More.
Get a bit more of Allison getting rejected by the community. Although, honestly, they do an all right job of Allison and Corey's relationship. It kind of works for me. Allison is very forward, which is good on her. Good on her.
Yeah, very good on her.
Yeah. But yeah, this is not the shit show. People are calling it a shit show. It's not. It has its issues, in my opinion, but
it's not the shit show that 5 Cream is not the shit show people make it out to be.
Yeah. I feel like, well, especially with that one, it felt like everybody liked it at first, and everybody's like, oh, no way, it sucks. It's like, wait, what? Huh?
I've rewatched it, and I still have the same feelings of it. I feel that it is definitely a soft reboot.
Yeah. Oh, it's a very soft reboot.
It's a torch-passing soft reboot.
Yeah, it's a soft reboot revival, whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
I'm okay with it.
In-canon reboot.
I like these characters. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what's next for them.
Yes. But yeah,
This,
Halloween
however,
ends.
I'm sad to see this timeline have it like the final chapter on it, if for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there'll probably be another one down the line.
Unfortunately, yes,
Somebody
and it
else
is
will
kind
acquire
of
the
left
rights.
open for that because they talk about the spirit of Michael and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of hope we don't, but
I kind of hope they don't
it's
remake
a
the
decent
Curse
ending.
of Michael. Well, I no, scratch that. I hope they do remake Curse of Michael Myers and they bring back Paul Rudd for Tommy Doyle.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, well, like I said, even though I wouldn't quite recommend this, if you are a hardcore Halloween fan, then you've already seen it. If you're not, then I'd probably say skip it, but it's not the worst thing ever. And the ending is good. The ending is good.
It's not Morons from Outer Space.
Oh, well, nothing can be.
Nothing can top Morons from Outer Space.
Are we ready for Rings of Power?
Oh, yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, yes, Rings of Power, also known as Slow Burn the series. So, like,
yeah,
I kind of enjoyed the first 4, but yeah, it was, especially the first one, it's a lot of build-up. But man, it builds up to a finale that's kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah. Like, a very unexpected.
Yeah. Well, I like, dude, we're going straight into spoilers, but one of the things I noticed that I really appreciated was you see the scenes in the first episode with her and her brother. You don't think too much of it. But then later on, you see the followers of Sauron, and you don't think too much of it. But then you see a flashback of the scene with her and her brother, and you realize he looks like a follower of Sauron. Holy shit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they've been here this whole fucking time.
Yeah, it's like,
what?
Oh shit. Holy shit. It's something Galadriel didn't even realize. Yeah, no, there are a couple of twists they throw in here that I kind of loved.
Now, when they were thinking that the tall man that the halflings had found,
yeah,
not the halflings, the smallfoots, right?
Harfoots,
thank you. Harfoots had found. How they were thinking that was Saruman. I mean, even in the first ones, when he first landed, I was like, Gandalf?
Mm-hmm.
They never say.
Yeah, no, they call him Ishtar, and according to Lord of the Rings myth, I had to look it up, I don't know this off the top of my head, there are 5 Ishtar. Yeah. Of the ones we know, this guy best fits Gandalf, obviously. But timeline-wise, Gandalf isn't supposed to arrive till the Third Age, and there are 2, I believe they're called Blue Wizards, from the Second Age that are also Ishtar.
Okay.
So it's not clear if this guy's Gandalf or one of the blue wizards that we have not seen yet or know really anything about. I kind of dig the idea that it's Gandalf, but, we have to see how much they feel to thumb their nose at Lord of the Rings mythology. And it's worth knowing the Tolkien family is involved with this. So it's not like they're thumbing their nose at Tolkien.
No, they're gonna go through and be like, if they want to do major timeline change like that, they're gonna be like, hey, this is what we're thinking. Is this cool?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm sure if the Tolkien family says no, they'd be like, okay, no problem, change it.
I did see an article where the Tolkien family and Amazon did discuss how they're condensing a lot of the events of the Second Age because it's if they do it properly, it takes place over like 1,000 years. But then we can't have any recurring characters besides elves. So they're like, okay, we'll condense it down to 10 years for the series.
So this probably in season 2, they're going to be doing a lot of time jumping.
Probably a bit, yeah. I wouldn't say unexpected, but yeah, it's going to be within a human lifetime, obviously, so we can keep the characters around.
Right.
But yes, episode 6 was the one that really perked me up, because that was a lot of battles.
Yes, it was.
It seemed like almost insignificant battles, but it seemed like there's lots of orc forces there. They're serious. It's like, geez, I wonder what why is this so important? But the good guys are holding their own. They even get reinforcements. And then we find out what that crazy fucking sword thing is that's activated by your blood. And it's a key to essentially activate Mount Doom and make Mordor, which is where this fighting had been happening the whole time.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like, oh Holy shit. So, yeah, no. If you're wondering, in this series, we get the creation of Mount Doom and Mordor entirely. And yeah, and that was really for me when I'm watching it going, holy shit, this is getting really badass. I'm getting
when I was
this quite a bit.
when that part came on, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then like
Well, we're boned.
Episode 7's a lot aftermath from that, but like, yeah, you get some of the characters. You get Halbrand, who is, he's established that he gets injured in that, but he survives, and he's the new king of the Southlands. So he is important going forward. And he is also probably the big twist because he's somebody that a lot of the people complaining about this series, of which there are many. They complain about him quite a bit because he is not a character in Tolkien lore. They're like, there's no Halbrand in Tolkien lore. You guys are just making up a character. And I do feel like they're definitely thumbing their noses with the reveal of who he actually is. Because he actually is very much a character in Tolkien lore. Full-fledged spoilers.
Outright say that.
Yeah, full-fledged spoilers. Halbrand was an alias of Sauron. Yeah, he essentially got himself in good with a lot of the good guys. Galadriel was kind of able to figure out, hey, how are you king of the Southlands? That line's broken. And that's when it's revealed, oh yeah, he is Sauron. Oh, and by the way, that brother who you're trying to avenge, he was a servant of Sauron. Good fun.
Yeah, the scene where the wizard show the strange man, which it was later revealed to be like, that that Bob and I both kind of feel is Gandalf.
Yeah, he's definitely Gandalf inspired if he's not gonna be Gandalf.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think the reveal where he just kind of went like no, and then just hit the staff down and the white light came off. That was kind of like that's some motherfucking Gandalf the Grey action right there.
No, well, I loved like the servants of Sauron track him down and assume he is Sauron because he's a sorcerer. He's they don't know much about him. They knew Sauron may not know much about himself because he got reborn, and they're like, oh, this guy must be Sauron. And I love like he's like, God, I'm a bad guy. I knew I was a bad guy. I didn't want to be a bad guy. And then Nori gives him the nice little thing saying, they don't define who you are. You define who you are. And that's when he fights back. He's like, fuck this. Yeah, I'm not the bad guy. Fuck this. And it's like, and that's when they reveal, oh, he's not Sauron. He's the other one. He's Ishtar. Which, as I already brought up, it's a race of like 5 people in Tolkien lore. Very small race. But of Gandalf is one of them, Saruman is one of them, Radagast is one of them, and there's 2 blue wizards that we've not explored at all in Tolkien mythology, other than that they're blue wizards.
Yeah.
But yes, so he is one of the blue wizards or Gandalf. He's one of those 2. I mean, it's not even controversial. He's going to be one of those 2.
Yeah.
But even if he's a blue wizard, he's inspired by Gandalf very much. He is the show's stand-in for Gandalf at the very least. I dig his character. He and Nori are going to go on an adventure next season to figure out like his past. So I'm on board.
I am too. I actually thought the elven princess in this
Galadriel.
Yes, I didn't think she was going to make it through the battle. There was a few people I did not think was going to make it through the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I will be honest.
Well,
the archer, I thought he would we'd all think he would be dead, but would come back in the last few moments. That's what I thought would happen to him. I thought the dwarf might die, but surprisingly, because I thought they were all going to be there at the battle, but they were not.
Mm-hmm. Well, Galadriel is Cate Blanchett in the movie, so I was not expecting her to go anywhere. The archer, I don't believe we see anywhere in the movie, so I was kind of scared for him. He does end up surviving, but they do play with the, oh god, did he survive the volcano? Because we don't see him for a while, and yeah, but yeah, he made it.
And he almost got his ass kicked and killed in this last battle too.
Yeah.
he got the crap kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a good show. I'm like, it's a slow burn, but when you get to episode 6, 7, 8, all of a sudden shit starts happening, and it's like it was kind of worth it. I dug it. I would probably say this is my favorite thing we're talking about this week. Although I think for you it's probably Halloween Ends. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was good. This was good. Don't listen to the haters. If you're a fan of Tolkien, it's a slow burn, but Tolkien's a slow burn. If you've read Tolkien, it's a slow burn.
Like, I'm not even the biggest Tolkien fan, and I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. If you're a Tolkien fan, you know his stuff is slow burn, and this is a slow burn, and it pays off. It's worth it. Are we ready to get into She-Hulk?
Yes, let's dive into it. Let's dive into the hate.
Oh, God, there's so much hate for this. I'm sorry.
Let's embrace the hate.
It's so dumb. So, overall, I think these last 3 episodes were my 3 favorite of the series.
Yeah.
With a little asterisk next to episode
3.
9. Episode 7 was probably my all-time favorite episode of the series. I loved just the fact that, like, she met this guy. They had a really good relationship going, and then they sleep together, and then he ghosts her. And she has to deal with that. And it's very human. We've all dealt with that in our life. If you haven't dealt with that, you're lucky. That happens, and it hurts. It hurts quite a bit, and you learn from it, which, she does here. And it's I love that story, because you don't see it told that often, and it should be. Now, of course, that guy ends up being a complete piece of shit, who also cloned her phone, and he's part of this group Intelligentsia trying to, fuck with Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk. So yeah, he's a piece of crap, but Abomination, of all people, actually helps her out, and it was actually a really nice episode. I really liked it. And I like it a bit more than the next episode, but I like the next one quite a bit as well, which is the introduction of Daredevil. Matt Murdock was fun in this series.
He was really great in this series.
Yeah, no, he has this great... he and Jen have some damn good chemistry.
Like natural, really good chemistry.
Yeah, just like they're not the same type of superhero, but they work together well. And obviously Jen digs the advice, and I love the advice he gives her. He's like, as Jennifer Walters, as a lawyer, you can help people with the law. And as She-Hulk, you can help people when the law fails them. And it's like, obviously, she doesn't know he's Daredevil at that point, but obviously he's drawing from his own experience a bit and helping her out, and it was nice.
Yeah.
And they definitely had some chemistry in that moment, too. It's like, oh, shit.
My ass remains unkicked.
Yeah. They have a little fight until she realizes who he is, and she realizes her client... We knew her client was a rich, stuck-up piece of shit, but, she has to defend him because that's her job.
Yeah.
And he ends up being a complete piece of shit.
He ends up kidnapping the same person who makes Daredevil's and
She-Hulk's outfit, and puts her outfits at risk for a while, because, god damn it.
The designer didn't forgive her for, representing that piece of shit.
Yeah.
But then that piece of shit goes and kidnaps him, and, it's up to Daredevil, it's up to She-Hulk to save him, along with Daredevil. They team up, and she saves him, and, he forgives her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's absolutely forgiven.
Yeah, well, I mean, being saved from a kidnapping
He's still mad at her
help
for
you
it.
out. Yeah, no, I'm sure there's still...
He's a little mad at her.
He's a little burned, but, saving from a kidnapping does help. And then, I don't even know if this is the most controversial, because I swear everybody blew up over all these episodes. I think I might have heard the most blow up over the Daredevil episode, because yes, Daredevil and She-Hulk sleep together. And there's just this funny little scene where he does the walk of shame, but, it's technically the walk of shame, but he does it with a shit-eating grin. He's obviously happy. She-Hulk's
He's
happy.
still in costume.
Who gives a shit?
He's
yeah,
still...
well, of course. What else is he gonna wear?
And
I doubt she has any clothes that properly fits him.
And I think that's the funniest part of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's just walking, holding his boots, going, "Hey,
yeah, what's up?" No. They had a good night, and everybody's all upset because, oh my god, he did the walk of shame. He had a good night, guys. They had they had good chemistry. She's like, "Hey, if you're in town, do you want to go on a date?" And he's like, "I'm going to New York. When? Tomorrow." So there's tonight when you're open.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, okay. But yeah, I like their relationship. It was fun. There was a bit of build-up over the finale. And I will say I have issues with the finale. Because while the finale is a giant fourth wall break. So we have this story going off at Intelligentsia. We find out Abomination is involved. It's all, it starts breaking into a fight when Bruce pops in and decides to help her out. And before we get anything really resolved, she fourth wall breaks the whole episode and goes to Kevin, who's a robot at Marvel, and makes him fix it. Now, I do not like the ending they were building towards, like with the one guy getting Hulk blood and becoming a Hulk. It felt bad.
That felt stupid.
Yeah, it was very stupid. That being said, I still want there to be some sort of resolution to the story before she does the fourth wall break. Because the fourth wall break just feels like, oh, we don't have a really good ending. Let's just fourth wall this. And the fourth wall stuff is fun. Don't get me wrong. I actually enjoyed the fourth wall stuff.
Okay, so you look at it as plot armor in a way.
Yeah. It was a way to get around. Okay. They didn't really have a strong ending for this. That's what it felt like to me. And it's funny. I want to give it props. The fourth wall stuff, it was funny. And it was natural. I'm not saying it's not comic book accurate, because she did that shit all the time in comic book. But I want there to at least be some sort of good resolution in the story before she just fourth wall breaks and fixes everything. Because this felt like a cop-out. And then it's like, okay, so what, are we going to do this every season? Don't.
Well, yeah, but I definitely see it as something that they used as that definite device to kind of write themselves out of a corner.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope that they don't use it so much like a crutch in later episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That would be more of my concern.
The actual fourth wall break I thought was fine. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Her jumping out the She-Hulk menu, getting out into Disney Plus menu, jumping out the She-Hulk box and into the Assembling Marvel Universe box. That's funny. I just want there to be a resolution that's in the story, and maybe she fixes it after that, or maybe just something that feels natural to the story. I want more of an explanation for Abomination, other than apparently he was just paid by Intelligentsia to do his stuff. Because I actually was starting to like Abomination. And then it's just like, oh, he's worked with Intelligentsia. Oh, why? Because he got paid. Really? Yeah. Yeah. So is this a flawless series? No. Fuck no. It's fine. I enjoyed it. Like I said, episodes 7 and 8, I
certainly didn't get pissed off at her twerking.
Yeah, it was the twerking thing. I could not handle the rage over the twerking thing. And I even pointed out the twerking thing. It's like, you know what? If Deadpool did this scene, you guys wouldn't say a goddamn thing.
You would eat it. You would eat it the fuck up.
Yeah, and people were just like, well, if Deadpool did it, it would be comic book accurate. And my response was just like, say you've never read a She-Hulk comic without saying you've never read a She-Hulk comic. I mean, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
It's just the same thing as whenever people put the Thin Blue Line logo on a Punisher skull. Tell me you've never read a Punisher novel without telling me you've never read a Punisher book.
Yeah.
Ever.
You just think it's a cool logo. You've never fucking read that.
I kind of do love busting that bubble on people and they tell me I'm full of shit. And I'm like, oh, nope, I'm just a nerd, man.
Hey,
Frank Castle fucking hates cops.
Yeah, he's like, if there's a dirty cop, he's gonna go after them first. He is.
Yeah, well, he likes good ones, and he protects the good ones.
Yeah,
but good thing for us in the books, the majority of the cops in his neck of the woods are dirty cops.
Mm-hmm. And he has no sympathy for them. No.
Yeah. He has more sympathy for a purse snatcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still die, but...
yeah. But yeah, so I would say overall, I do like this series. It's not perfect.
I did. No,
but yeah,
no.
this was fun.
Like anything, it does have its flaws. Mm-hmm. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I think that if they were to go more into intelligentsia, have that be kind of a underlining thread the entire series.
Yeah.
Like maybe popping up in episode 2 or 3. If they introduced that thread a little bit earlier and kind of had more things like going in, like they were to do something or like, leave shitty signs in her front yard, something like that.
And I hate
just something small.
I hate to say it, but it's true. Incels are not intimidating enough to be really great villains. They think a lot of themselves, but they're pretty fucking weak.
They're as threatening as a puppy, as a chihuahua.
Yes,
barking behind a big caged fence.
Yeah. But yes, good show.
Yes.
Like I said, overall, these last 3 episodes I think were the best set. I'd probably say the last 3, then the first 3, and then the middle 3 were probably my least favorite. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was just good. Anything you want to add before we go ahead and close out?
No, I did enjoy it. I'm gonna be very curious as to see where the second season will go. What other cases will they do? I'm very curious if they're actually going to pay off on it being a legal show or not.
Ooh. we will see.
I wonder if she's going to make any appearances in the Daredevil series.
No, I'm fairly confident she will be in Daredevil. I'd be shocked if she wasn't at this point. I guess it's not impossible.
I did like the
Jessica
teaser.
Jones wasn't really in Luke Cage, which was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I did like that teaser. Just wait for the movie. I'm getting a movie? No, sorry. Yeah, because Sony ain't giving up that distribution rights.
But yes. So next week, George should be joining us, and we have 2 very horror-based things and something not really horror-based. So the horror-based stuff, we're going to be looking at the new Black Adam movie, which should be terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
It's The Rock.
Yes. We have...
I got my tickets already.
I don't yet, but that's coming. We got the last 4 episodes of House of Dragon Season 1. Fucking terrifying. But then George...
Well, the fan reaction is terrifying.
Yeah, there's that. But then we have something not horror-based at all. We have Stephen King's Cat's Eye, which...
yes.
That's not a horror thing at all. I don't know why.
It's a story about Drew Barrymore and her kitty.
Yeah, it's a fun Drew Barrymore romp. I don't know what we're talking about.
It's how her a very young Drew Barrymore, I believe pre-ET or post-ET.
Yes.
It's about her and her adventures with her kitty.
But yes, that will be next week. Let's see. Anything to add before we go ahead and close out?
No.
All right. Everyone have a good one. Freeze frame.
Take care.
I cheated it, but I don't have the mouse in the right spot.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.